everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another one of my gay gamer video podcasts. Starting off with a couple of quick movie reviews, because I needed to see a couple more movies in July, because I need to get my money's worth out of my $24 AMC A-List membership. I'd only seen 2 movies, which means they would cost $12 each, which is not ideal. I can't count that first Spider-Man that I tried to see because I only saw half of it. So 2.5 movies, I guess. But so I went to see Crawl, which is a low-budget B-movie horror thriller about a young woman and her dad trying to survive killer alligators during a hurricane and flood in Florida. Although it was, I believe it was shot in like Prague or something weird like that. So it was very clearly a set. Like the exterior was a set. But it was still actually a surprisingly well-crafted movie. Like, it was very suspenseful, very thrilling. The setups, the set pieces of trying to, you know, get out of a room or get out of the basement and do all whatever they're trying to do to survive, it was all very well done. My only complaints were that because the girl and her father have to last for the movie, they can't get killed. So, and they were the only characters. It's not like a typical horror movie where there's a bunch of characters that get killed off one by one until you're left with, you know, just 1 or 2 people. Here, you just had the 2 people, so they're like, okay, we have to introduce characters to kill to show that the alligators are dangerous, which, I mean, they're giant alligators, of course they're dangerous. So it didn't have any effect, because you'd literally see somebody and like 10 seconds later they're getting eaten, so you're like, okay, who cares? And the other thing is that the main characters have like pretty severe injuries from like alligator bites and such, yet they can still swim around and do what they want. And I know adrenaline can really help, but it was a little ridiculous. But you just go along for the ride, and the effects were good, and the CGI alligators were actually surprisingly effective. So, thumbs up. Give it a Netflix rental someday, or watch it on HBO or something. Like, you don't have to go see it in the theater, though. And the other thing that I saw was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino's kind of hit or miss for me. I haven't even seen all of his movies because some of them I just don't like. Some of them I really do. But I wasn't sure about this one. But I'd seen the trailer at literally every movie that I've gone to see over the past month or so. So I just sort of felt obligated to see this one, to see what it was all about. And it is long. It is 2 hours and 40 minutes. But in the end, I didn't mind. The first hour is a bit tedious and plodding, and like an hour into it I was like checking my watch being like, really, we're only an hour in and like still nothing's really happening, and I'm just sort of like, okay. But then the second hour, things started to come together and there were more interesting things happening, and I'm just like, okay, I think I kind of see, I don't know exactly where we're going, but at least we're going somewhere now. You know what I mean? And then the last 40 minutes, it reveals where it's going, and in the end, it was all totally worth it, and I very much enjoyed it. I'm not going to say anything else about it, because it's best that you go in as blind as possible. But if you don't mind sitting in a movie theater for over 2.5 hours, and if you like Hollywood and old movies and such, it's very enjoyable. I quite liked it. Your mileage may vary. Some people don't like Quentin Tarantino at all. Like I said, he's hit or miss for me, but this one was definitely a hit and not a miss. As for gaming, I wanted to start by addressing the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con problems. As you might recall, I know I mentioned it in a previous episode when it first started happening. My Nintendo Switch, which is I got it at launch, it is suffering from the dreaded drift, the Joy-Con drift, where the left joystick will go left, even when you're not even touching it. So your character will just start running left. Or menus will go left. And it's super irritating. I went online and discovered that a lot of people are having the same problem, and there were some like DIY tips of how to clean it out, because they say, oh, it's like there's dust or dirt or something that's causing the controller to register the left movement. If you could just get in there and like clean it out. And I tried like compressed air and like whatever, and like I couldn't seem to fix it. It's still drifting. But I never thought about getting it repaired because I had heard that it costs like $40 if you're not under warranty, which I'm a launch Switch. I'm not under warranty anymore, I'm sure. So, like, I'm sure it's 6 months or whatever. So, I'm like, oh well. And I didn't want to spend $40 to fix something that was just going to break again. I mean, it's cheaper than buying a whole new Joy-Con, which is $80, because you have to buy the package of 2. You can't just buy one. Because if you could just buy one Joy-Con, if I could just buy a left Joy-Con for $40, I might do that. But I wasn't going to spend $40 to fix something that's just going to break again. However, now, Nintendo is apparently fixing Joy-Con drift for free. Because it is such a widespread problem, and it is their own manufacturing process that, like, created this problem in the first place. So I appreciate that Nintendo is stepping up and saying, our bad, we made defective product, we will fix it for you. The only problem is like, which is weird, because Nintendo usually makes like super, super good product. Like, my launch Wii lasted all the way until the Wii U came out, and I got a Wii U to replace my Wii because my Wii was finally, after all those years, starting to not read discs correctly, and it wasn't great. But my GameCube still works. I can plug in my GameCube, and it's awesome. But, like, I was surprised that the Switch Joy-Con was having this problem, and, like, a lot of people are having it. And I wasn't going to spend money on it, but now that it's free, I'm thinking it might be worth sending it in to get it fixed. And then, if it happens again, maybe they'll still fix it again for free. But I'm thinking, right now I'm playing Ys 8, and it is a little annoying because I try to stand still and my character will run left, or I'll try to like navigate the menus and it'll like flicker all over the place, and I've picked the wrong dialogue options and sometimes accidentally picked the wrong item to use because I'm having trouble navigating the menu because the joystick thinks I'm moving it in a direction I'm not. And it's annoying, but I'm starting to think that I might want to get it fixed before September because that's when Dragon Quest XI comes out, and I kind of want to have as pure an experience with Dragon Quest as I can have. But I don't know. I went to the website, and it doesn't really give you any information. You have to fill out a form describing the problem with your Joy-Con and whatever, and then they will send you an email with instructions. So I'm assuming that's where they're like, okay, here's the address, send us your left Joy-Con, and we will fix it for free. You know, send us this information, whatever. If any of you have done this, can you tell me if anyone's tried and gotten to that part of the procedure? Just give me like a heads up. Like, is it free? How long does it take to get your Joy-Con back? Or for them to send you a refurbished one that isn't actually the one you sent in? I don't know exactly what they're going to do. Like, I'm just curious. And can I wait until August to try to do it? And also, like, are they going to do this like always? Because I'm assuming that if I send this in and they send me back a Joy-Con that works properly, I will assume that in 6 to 8 months my Joy-Con is going to break again and start drifting and like whatever. Can I get it fixed again for free, or do I have to start paying then? Also, could they maybe make a Joy-Con that works and doesn't get this problem? Because that would be ideal. Like, if they were like, oh, we've made new Joy-Cons that won't have the drift problem, I would totally go and spend $80 on a Joy-Con just to get that. Or that would be really nice if they were like, we have left Joy-Cons that won't suffer drift. Although I'd rather get the set so that just in case the right one started to suffer drift as well. But yeah, it's super frustrating, and I don't want to... I think for free I'm going to send it in. Just because if it does break again, which I'm assuming it will, because they can fix the problem, but I think they can fix the problem, but they can't keep it from happening again. I don't know, maybe they can. Probably not. But if any of you listening, watching, have done this, let me know how it worked out for you. And I think I might give it a try, just because I want to be able to play Dragon Quest properly. In other technical difficulty news, I was very excited the other week when there was a system update for the PlayStation 4. Because the last system update for the PlayStation 4, like a month or so ago, it borked my PlayStation again. Like literally every other system update, it fixes, then breaks, then fixes, then breaks. Where I can't put it to sleep and then just wake it back up and jump back into my game. A month or two ago, they had a system update, and I couldn't put my PlayStation to sleep anymore. I have to shut it off and turn it on and load up my game, and it's super, super tedious. So right afterwards, they had like a little update, but that didn't fix it. So then when they had this one that was another big system update, I was like, okay, this should fix it. And it totally didn't. So now I have to wait for the next system update, like in another month or two, and hope that then maybe my PlayStation will function correctly again. It's super annoying. Because I'm still trying to finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it's slowing me down to have to reload the game every single time I want to play it. But I am almost done. Because as you might recall in the last episode, I suspected that I was nearing the end of the game. And in fact, I checked a walkthrough, and according to the walkthrough that I checked, I've got like maybe 3 main story missions left to go. I would assume that like 2 of them are going to be like pretty epic, and maybe the last one's like an epilogue kind of thing and not quite as long. But realizing that I only had like 3 main story missions left to go, I did what every normal game player would do. I took a step back and said, let me just tie up some loose ends before I finish the story. Because what I wanted to do was I looked at the map and I realized that there was like a whole section of an area that I hadn't explored, and there was a whole island that I'd never even gone to, and I wanted to try to get like everything on the map explored and every synchronization point synced, because I figured there's a trophy for that, and I would just feel a sense of completion, and just to, you know, have mapped out the whole thing, and maybe not found every historic location or whatever, but every sync point would be good, and just to have colored in on the whole map, I think would be an accomplishment. The other thing that I wanted to do before I went into the actual end game was to finish off the cultists, because you tackle a bunch of cultists like during the story, and then I've been doing some other side ones. There was one whole thread that I just did not do, and when I went back to finish that thread, I realized why. It's because they're the, you know, the cultists of the sea, or whatever they're called. The cultists of the Aegean, or whatever. And they are all on boats. So literally, like, you do land missions to find the clues, to identify them, and then once you identify them, they're out on the sea in a boat somewhere, and you have to sail off and take down their ship. And I hate the ship combat. I am not good at it. It takes me a whole bunch of tries to do it, and if there are any other ships in the fight, I will get taken down because it's 5 against 1, and then I get killed, and then I have to start over, and it's super frustrating, and I'm just like, oh my god, I hate this game. I just want to assassinate people with a knife. I don't want to have to sail a ship. It sucks. That's why I didn't play the pirate one, because I don't want to have to sail a freaking boat. So far it's been, like, doable, but some of the ship missions have been a little frustrating, and I've had to try them like 5 or 6 times, and it's really annoying. So, but I am determined to kill all the cultists, and get to that main cultist and reveal their identity, because I feel as though that is probably important to the end of the game. I'm sure that at the end of the game, as the story progresses, you might discover who the main cultist is anyway. I have my suspicions. We'll see if I'm right. No spoilers, please. But I feel like if I discover it first, then maybe I'll get a better ending. I don't know. But, like, I don't know what I can do to get a better ending in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But I feel like maybe killing off all the cultists should help. I don't know. We'll see. If you also In addition to the Joy-Con comments, if you would like to comment with your advice for getting a good ending in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, if you finished it, please put those in the comments as well. But no spoilers, please! I should, hopefully, fingers crossed, be able to talk about the ending with no spoilers. But I should be able to talk about that and starting a new game by the time the next episode rolls around. Who knows? It's a cliffhanger. You'll have to come back and find out if I finished the damn game already. Bye!